What is good, YouTube? It is your boy, ChazBryant. You know what we doing, daily uploads type shit. We got how Bobbi Althoff lost her entire career her entire audience in 1 year. You know what it is. Subscribe to the channel, like this video. We ain't finna do too much talking shit. And yeah, let's get into this video.
Long time since we last checked in on Bobbi Althoff. Around a year and a half ago, I actually declared her the biggest industry plant I had ever witnessed hit the podcast scene.
Hi guys, welcome to the Really Good Podcast with your host Bobbi Althoff.
Basically, this woman came out of nowhere and had some huge guests like Drake, Mark Cuban, and other celebrities on her show
found
that
that
she dubbed
hella
the
weird
Really
too.
Good Podcast.
I think my mom named me after a lawyer, which always kind of like rubbed me the wrong way.
Within a week of the Drake interview, Bobbi was being represented by one of the top talent agencies and getting mainstream publicity. For this reason, people began to call her an industry plant because the only content that she had made online before this was essentially a spoof of mommy blogger TikTok content, where she did garner millions of followers, mainly moms all around the country who liked her sarcastic brand of humor.
There is nothing more embarrassing than walking around with one of these. Everyone knows how it got there. They know what you did.
She claims that she parlayed this TikTok career into another career in podcasting after she offered.
I'm gonna go back for a second. Why does her boobs look lopsided?
Walking around with one of these. Everyone knows how it got there. They know what you did.
She claims that she parlayed
That
this
one right there. Why the fuck does it look lopsided as hell?
TikTok career into another career in podcasting after she offered her followers $300 if they could get a celebrity to come onto her podcast.
There's like a finder's fee, right? You said if you can get a celebrity, I will pay you $300.
Yeah.
She says that this offer led to the episode with Funny Marco, which would in turn lead to her being in bed with Drake. You can picture her to be like the slightly more successful Hawk Tua girl. To me, their careers actually draw a lot of parallels to each other, but one had to tell the world her methods for sucking dudes off before she got thrown into the belly of the industry matrix. You know, they both had that type of lightning in a bottle rise to fame that left onlookers saying, damn, this world is getting really up. But to be fair to Bobbi, she does seem a lot more intelligent than Hawk Tua.
Hawk Tua. Hawk Tua. Say it aggressive, like
Hawk
really.
Whatever happened to that chick, by the way?
Anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I guess she's still asleep. And with Bobbi having such an astronomical rise to fame in such a short period of time, and the fact that most people felt like she was directly biting her entire deadpan comedic style from Funny Marco himself, she started to get a lot of ridicule online. I don't think it helped that she missed her son's birthday.
Do I know who?
Party to be there in bed with Drake that day.
You know?
I flew all the way here
You did. I really do appreciate
on my
that.
daughter's first birthday.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
You missed your daughter's first birthday.
To be here.
She flew there to meet
Dark.
Drake on her daughter's first
You
birthday.
regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Something people
Mom.
thought was a joke at first, as it was her brand to be dry and sarcastic, but now it's been revealed that she was being totally serious. The other thing was, when she was doing these interviews, she would constantly be making passes at these men, asking them if they would sleep with her, or if she was their type.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
I'd do it.
Thank you.
Would you date someone that looks like me?
Something that is not only strange to do as an interviewer, but also it got even more wild when people found out that she was still married. Strangely enough, the dude would actually file for divorce the very same month the Drake podcast came out, which led to quite a bit of speculation online.
I'd do it.
One thing I will say is that she was way ahead of her time when it came to the Drake mistreatment, deleting their interview right after it started going viral, and hating at his concert. But after a while, the sarcastic, too cool to care bit really got...
Bro. Just watching this, without me saying too much, you know what I mean? To like, what the fuck? Like, who would even follow her, bro? I saw her like once or twice with Drake and Tyga, I think. And then maybe Funny Marco, but nigga, I don't even follow this bitch. Would never.
Got old, and she even got put in her place by rapper Offset, who let her know that she wasn't all that.
You wanted to be on my podcast.
Why you keep saying that cap ass shit, man? I honestly didn't even want to do this shit. I don't fucking do interviews. You already told me you looked me up. I'm walking out on bullshit. I'm fucking with you because they're making me.
As a matter of fact, he cooked the hell out of her.
You need a little bit of seasoning. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken just on the thing. You pull it off, and then you serve the dish. You need some motherfucking seasoning, man.
You can leave now.
This is my hotel. I paid for this motherfucker. You can leave now.
You can leave now. It's crazy.
At Michigan Great Lakes Virtual Academy, we know your
Nah,
talent is
that's
one of a kind.
crazy. That nigga Offset set her straight.
And then she changed up her whole look, and she went on a show with Keke Palmer, and right there she got accused of being an industry plant right to her face.
I know.
You're not an industry plant, right?
I am, but
You do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this?
I know.
kinda
Isn't that
planted?
crazy?
Feels a bit planty.
This is definitely
you got
like
you
Liz.
got here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
What I think industry plant is, it's like somebody that has been like that is tied to someone else in the industry and uses those connections to capitalize, and they like have zero talent.
I'm not on anything.
Zero
I
talent.
don't have any talents.
And then people started to say that she was trying to manufacture moments. She had Ryan Garcia chasing her around the room like they were on the playground.
Bro, you run fast, man. Relax.
He would later tweet out that they had this intimate situation after that was recorded, and she continued with this reputation that she was kind of being bounced around.
What did he say? Bobby? I kissed Bobby. Was cool, pretty good kisser. Bobbi Althoff fuck Drake, and that's why she got divorced. She cool.
After that
What
was
the
recorded,
fuck?
and she continued with this reputation that she was kind of being bounced around the industry.
You got some close up?
I like to read people's messages, not get room tours.
Let me read your messages.
No. I don't like.
I'll let you read one message if you let me read one message.
I delete all of my messages.
Liar.
Are you cleaning? I
Huh?
do. You don't? You keep your messages?
I delete my messages?
Yeah, you keep yours?
People that delete their messages are cheaters. I'm not a liar or a cheater. I hate liars.
And I feel like relevancy-wise, she kind of just came and went.
Damn,
and
that
honestly,
bitch getting
Hawk
called
Jewel
out by
kinda took her
everybody.
Spot online. Nowadays, Bobbi's channel and TikTok are mainly inactive, and the last couple of podcasts only garnered a small percentage of what she was averaging only a year ago. And I actually put myself through absolute agony by watching over an hour of Bobbi being interviewed by Forbes and Wired magazine. Bobbi Althoff, the deadpan podcast host America can't get enough of. Wow, a whopping 10K views. America
Wow.
just can't get enough. Obviously,
Facts.
her publicist got her this opportunity, as a lot of celebrities and online talent alike do this type of thing, so they can still try and seem relevant to their
Yeah, why the fuck is she on Forbes list if that bitch is not relevant at all?
sponsors and other people kind of pouring money into their careers. And before we get into all the out-of-touch things she said during these interviews, I did want to tell you guys about today's video sponsor. Some of you already know as food they're being fed dog food this time. The
Great
checkout.
sponsor.
Coming up, she claims
Grab
that she
your
was
dog
posting
some
5 to
food.
10 TikToks per day for years, where she routinely raked in millions of views, followers, and hundreds of thousands of dollars per year.
But my goal for the first year of once I started getting views and getting followers was that every
Nigga,
single
what
day I
is you
had to
doing?
have one video that I posted that got 1 million views. So I would keep trying and trying and trying.
Now, using the Wayback Machine, I can see that her numbers do pretty much align with her story, but I do still think that after the Drake podcast, they really tried to make her this big thing, and it just kind of burnt out and then fell flat on its face for the same reason that industry plants in the music sector never stay hot, because the fans they garner are so incredibly generic
Ice
and fickle
Spice.
that they would just move on to the next
Ice
trend like nothing.
Spice.
And one thing I did
Yeah,
find very interesting
shit.
in these interviews was the insistence that she has always been driven by wanting to be famous.
I've always wanted to act or have some type of leg in Hollywood, kind of. So I felt, my family always says that if anybody in our family was going to end up where I ended up, it would be me, because I was the most driven towards that.
And even more by wanting to be rich.
How'd you become an influencer or creator?
Just wanting to make money.
She even says that the only reason she did podcasting and TikTok in the first place was because she saw how much money other people made doing it and got motivated.
Mentally decided that she made like at least $300 a year on her podcast alone, and I was like, that's what I need to do next. Like, I need a podcast.
And for someone who loves money so much, she seems incredibly lazy about her job. Multiple times she brags about the fact that she goes into her podcast doing little to zero research on her guest that day.
And what is your interviewing technique?
Just no research, show up, and ask questions. I was researching how he interviews people, and I was like, oh God, this is a lot of work. Let me just go in there and know nothing.
It's a lot of work.
It's so much work.
And keep in mind, she's doing this in the face of 2 career journalists who do not look very amused.
Is the notebook just for show? Because you kind of have it open and then paper on top of it.
This is just my method.
It's okay.
This is my method. I'm a journalist, so I have my method.
I was making around like $250 to $300.
I can't even watch this bitch, bro. I gotta post this TikTok, bro.
From brand deals on TikTok.
Wow. This bitch
250 is great
talking
and all,
about something
but it's hard
else.
to come up with content with just me every day.
$250,000 a year as an annual income is great and all.
Yes.
It is great.
It is
It's
great.
Yeah, she's out here making $300,000 per year. Sound like a minimum wage job at Sonic, which I don't think is a winning strategy for gaining public favor. To me, above all else, it really just seems like there's really no passion in anything Bobbi does. And it's all strictly for the money or the clout, which in some fields can definitely work, but not in the entertainment industry.
I hope that I go from D-list to A-list. That's my goal.
I hope you go to from fucking
D-list to A-list.
Yes.
E-list to
Someone says
fucking
over and over,
F-list,
though, that
bitch.
she would be fine going back to a job at Jersey Mike's.
At the end of the day, if I had to go back and work at Jersey Mike's again to support myself, I'll make your sandwich for you.
Yeah, I'm calling absolute bullshit on that, okay? She wasn't even cool with 300,000. And during these interviews, both of the interviewers indirectly question her rise to fame and make allusions to the idea that someone in the background pulls a lot of strings for her.
What do you think is your appeal? Why do you think you became a thing?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Why are you looking at me like that?
Only the industry knows.
Like, what is an industry plant? You guys,
Right.
I would just play into it because I was like, there's no way people actually think that. But then I realized, like, what people actually
People
think
actually, no, I
which-
did my reading, they actually
Yeah,
think
they
that.
really do. And I think that it makes sense. Like, from an outside looking in perspective, I can see why they would think that.
Basically, it seems like nobody's buying her story, and at one point she even cries over the hate that she receives online.
Sometimes it's just constructive criticism. It can be a little mean, but yeah, it doesn't bother me too much.
Other than that, when it comes to Bobbi, there were these pictures of men carrying her out of the club. Someone put together that she was allegedly dating this NFL player based on one of her posts, and then she got totally embarrassed when this dude did not want to claim her like that, denying the allegations on Twitter after they caught his ass in 4K. I mean, truly, there's nothing much worse than when you think you were in a full-blown relationship with someone, and it turns out they were hiding your ass the whole time
That's
or really
not
don't want anything
me.
to do with you like that publicly.
My
And so
nigga
now
said
she's
that's
been on
not
TikTok
me.
crying.
Just like hard to imagine.
Bitch, you divorced your husband with kids to go fuck off with some famous dudes and thought they was like, girl, I love, like, so stupid.
Was truly good for you. It's hard to imagine there's a world where there's like someone who's actually meant for you.
I mean, talk about a turn of events. She was online talking about it's time for her hoe phase.
So what you doing for these 2 years? You gonna be a hoe?
I have to do a hoe.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
Oh no, you said you married young and you have your 2 kids already and you're divorced. Isn't that what divorced people do after that?
Just sleep around and have fun.
And now she's recording herself tearing up on camera.
And I got lonely. Met a guy around Thanksgiving. And I think things moved really fast. I don't know. I thought it was fucking fate. Clearly it wasn't. It was really sweet. It raised the bar for me, which sometimes sucks because then it's like, fuck. I didn't want the bar to be raised at all. Dating is
Dude.
just hard, you guys. Like,
Yeah, this bitch, I'm so glad this video
I'm here to
is
tell you right now,
about to be over.
we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I don't know, I always just think it's an interesting case study to see how quickly these individuals fall out of favor with the public. For her and the Hawk Tuah girl, it was like trying to live in a house with no foundation, like that bitch is up on stilts. All it really takes is a little adversity to knock that shit down. And listen guys, I truly think Drake owes this chick a room in his compound. Like if he had not laid up with her in bed and put her on the map, this all likely would have never happened. Maybe Kendrick wouldn't even have dissed his ass. Maybe he was at home on his laptop and this is what sent him over the edge. He knew at this moment that Drake was not like him. In all seriousness though, Bobbi seems alright, but as far as her maintaining a career online, I just don't really see the longevity here, given her motivations are all wrapped up in clout, material possessions, and greed. Not to even mention the fact that it seems like she couldn't really give a damn about her podcast or producing it in a better way. But I want to know what you guys think about this latest Bobbi Althoff update down below. I also want to thank Sundays for Dogs for sponsoring today's video once again, but as you guys know, it's been your...
Alright man, that was a good video. Thatbitchissstupid.com.